Now on Meet the Drapers.
The moment you've all been waiting for. We've got the finale today!
They pitched. You invested. Now, 7 finalists return.
We've acquired a company.
That could have saved his life.
Why do they need you?
Why didn't anyone think of this before?
Our 2 guest judges.
I think it's going to change lives. This is just printing money.
Which company will Tim Draper fund?
What should we do?
Find out now. Let the games begin.
Welcome back to Meet the Drapers. We've got the finale today. Woo! All right. Woo! I'm Tim Draper. I'm here with my dad, Bill Draper, and my sister, Polly Draper, and we are Meet the Drapers. We've got the top 7 of the 36 companies that we've met with. These 7 are the best of the best, and I think you are going to really enjoy seeing them pitch again. We're going to ask them some really tough questions today, and I will be funding the big winner. What do you two think? What should I be looking for in this?
Where are you going to find the money?
I thought I'd get it from you.
I would be looking for someone who is engaging and passionate.
And really feels it and believes it.
Yep.
Commitment, experience, and courage.
Keep that in mind as we go through and evaluate these 7 entrepreneurs. So our other 2 judges are 2 of our sponsors. Daniel Da Silva, who comes from Veridoc Global, an extraordinary company that's really helping secure documents throughout the world. And Dana Farbo from Augmate, who is building a VR system. We're going to be able to see everything,
That's
feel
virtual
everything,
reality.
and we're going to see it all through virtual reality. So let's welcome Daniel and Dana. All right, welcome to Meet the Drapers. What I thought we'd do is just ask you what you'd be looking for in a startup.
I think someone that can persevere through the tough times and really commit and focus on the project that they've got in hand. Their attitude is a big one.
Passion. I think at the core is passion, but I love big market. At the same time, I mean, you have to be different. You have to be different, but you have to be better. And that's what I'm looking for.
And our first guest is the first of our 7 finalists. But first, let's see what's going on behind the scenes.
My name is Kobe Wu. I'm the founder and CEO of Visual Technologies. Behind this ad, we have a very simple sensor in window. It tells you if there's many faces that are looking directly at you, how long they're looking, male-female breakdown, sentiment, and even approximate age.
That's kind of like part of my whole marketing thing. Here's a good tech company. I happen to be running it, but don't lie. It'll be nice to update everybody and see what they think. I feel like I listened to their feedback differently than I did the first time I heard it. So I watched it again before I came out. And I'm ready to answer some of those questions.
So I would like to welcome back Kobe.
Thank you.
Tell us what you've done in the meantime and why you are the one that we should be funding. I guess I should be funding.
All of you are welcome to fund if you'd like.
Yeah.
I'm super psyched to be here. Since the taping, we have sold our windows to approximately 10 different advertisers. We were able to roll out a strategy for agencies, and we're now targeting sports and entertainment. And they've been buying.
Does this scale up? If you get all the cities everywhere.
So we're looking at not just one static window at a time. We're now looking at digital screens that can be deployed. So if you have an advertiser who wants to send a message to somebody in Harlem and it's slightly different to somebody near Sunset Boulevard, you should be able to do that programmatically, and that's the way advertisers buy now. We're just now able to deploy that for out of home.
Are they adjusting them according to who is looking in the process?
With the more data that we are capturing, the more you can have that intelligence. We're not doing it in real time so that we can see a woman who's walking by. We're going to send a woman a message. We are providing that data so that we can say between the hours of 12 and 3, you can assess that there's more businessmen in the area versus families in the area.
Right.
What are the numbers? How much have you got in sales volume now?
So since we met, we generated about $500,000. This year, we are tracking to match that by the end of this quarter.
Can you measure the effectiveness of these ads?
Absolutely.
Is it the ad or the data that they're
People are interested in the data. The ad, I think, is kind of a novelty in some levels to be able to say, hey, I'm going to change it because you walk by versus when you walk by. And I think it's more about what is the conversion. So if you see it, how long are you looking? And that's very interesting for advertisers.
Is this a technology play?
Yeah.
And if it is a technology play, are you proprietary on the technology or is there something differential that can't be replicated?
So what we're doing is we're creating this marketplace to make our inventory accessible, and we're smarter than other out-of-home formats because of our technology component. And we are licensing our softwares to be able to capture this data, but our data is the proprietary piece of information.
Why should you be the one who gets the Meet the Drapers financing?
Because I'm a seasoned professional in marketing and advertising. I know what these people want. We have driven and developed a marketplace that's actually working, and it's just really cool.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Kobe.
you.
Thanks so much for coming to Meet the Drapers.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Terrific.
I had a lot to say. You know, like it was more about me in my brain in real time editing what I'm going to say because I could have a long answer and I knew I only had so much time. He was like, so we've got some stuff to talk about. I was like, yeah.
We've had our first entrepreneurs. What did you
I
think of
thought
her?
she was fantastic. I think she can do it. She's passionate. I think she could get competition, but I think it's original. I liked it all.
It's an interesting market. It's a lot of competition. I spent 20 years in the advertising business in New York. It's something that I don't see that she's got a differential advantage that can't be replicated, but I would bet on her.
I loved her. Loved what she was wearing. I loved everything about her. The thing about the whole company seemed slightly vague in terms of what the people would get out of it. Like, some people are just trying to advertise their product. Some people are trying to see which eyes there are.
But that's
Mine
good.
turned
There's
out
a
to be
big-
good.
that's a big market.
There's an element of it that terrifies me, and I know I'm sort of not into the 21st century enough to like the idea that everybody has your data.
You don't want them watching your eyes?
That's the
Where
thing.
are those eyes
the
going?
eyes are going.
My only concern is you've got some pretty cool tools with Google and Facebook ads where you can measure impressions right through to conversion. I think there's a gap between being able to measure where people are looking at and not really being able to measure the conversion bit based on the $20,000 that I spent in advertising. I'm not too sure how this project is going to be able to tell you how many people bought that product at the end of the day.
As it is, it was sort of easy to copy. Other people could go try to do it. But as it evolves, she will get more and more barriers to entry as she gets all that information from all those different sites. She probably has to move fast. But that was just the first. Before we get to our next finalist, let's see what's going on behind the scenes.
I'm Manshu Agarwal. I'm the CEO and founder of Ponder, the power of referrals, the best way to make a connection between people. I thought, how can I make referrals at scale? You have to make it gamified, so it's fun for the referrer. And secondly, you don't have to have some kind of reward.
Wait, who referred you?
When I first received the message that I was invited back from the finale, I immediately told our team. They were also equally overjoyed. This time round, I'd like to paint a little broader picture about our vision. I felt like last time we were talking very much about the details of the mechanics of how the product works. This time I wanted to try to convey a sense of the mission statement. And so my challenge is, how do I distill that into a very short, concise pitch that tells the Drapers something new about the company and how much progress we've made over the last few months.
Welcome back, Manshu. Tell us what kind of progress you've made with Ponder and why we should be backing you.
Since we last met, we went to India and we realized that this is a great country for referrals. Everything is done through referrals, from marriage to business deals. So we struck a deal with Times of India, which is the largest media group in the country. We also did a deal with Times Jobs, the second largest jobs platform in the country. So they are providing the brand coverage. So we're going to be having full page ads in the Times of India. However, what I'm most excited about is a distribution deal which will put us on nearly every single smartphone in India. 350 million people. Now we're going to help them not only generate referrals, but make money. Indians can earn $100 to $200 per month. We're launching in India in April. In the summer, we'll come out with a jobs product.
Sales dollars. How much have you?
We've had around $10,000 or so that we've made. We just wanted to prove that people are willing to pay for this. Now that we had that proof, we thought, okay, how do we get to that next stage? We could either spend a ton of marketing in the US, or we could say, where is the most viral place that we could go to in the world, which is instinctively a fit for this, and where we would lower the marketing spend tremendously. We found that in India.
I'm not sure if you didn't get a viral coefficient here that you will get one in India. I thought this thing
Well, there's so
would
many.
take off. What happened?
Very few products have gone viral. Tinder never really went viral until after a lot of marketing spend up front. Rather than raise money to be able to make this product go viral, it'd be better to be able to bootstrap it, go to India where the marketing costs would be much lower.
So how much money are you looking for on the crowd fund?
So we're looking for $6 million in total. We've got $3 million already committed.
Who's that from?
Part of it's from the Times of India.
Oh, they pulled you back to India. Oh, that's
How much did they put in?
Putting in 1.4 million in this round, and they've actually made a commitment for the next round as well for 3.7 million.
Manchu, it was great having you on Meet the Drapers. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And congratulations for being a finalist.
Good luck.
I think I did pretty well. It really kind of honed in this time compared to last time, which I think was a lot of broader array of questions. Here it was like really kind of focused. The issue is going to be, has our progress been sufficient to be able to get their confidence?
So, what did everybody think of Ponder? Wait, let's ponder.
Yeah, I like the name. I thought he was kind of an entrepreneur who will never pull this off.
I disagree. He was talking about being in India in his element where he will pull it off because he knows this is something that would intuitively function within customary boundaries.
Yeah, I can see where the U.S. market's going to be really tough as a standalone. It's just, if you think about referrals, they're personal. For the most part, they're either one and done or one and two. And coming into a scenario where you're constantly giving referrals, you get known for taking the money.
I really liked it up front the first time because I've introduced 7 couples who ended up getting married.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, this could be like, I could have gotten 7,000 couples. Then I realized I connect people, but maybe not the whole world does. And I'm wondering why it didn't work in the U.S. That's my big question.
I'm still pondering. I met my wife at university, so I've never had to use a dating app. But I just wish, instead of explaining why the cultural difference in India was going to make it a winner, he only said that the marketing was cheaper. And I really would have liked to see the Indian market and the culture and why that's different to the American one.
We've got 2 down, and now we're going to see our 3rd entrepreneur. But before we do, let's see what's going on behind the scenes.
I'm Amanda Greenberg. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Ballooner. Our business tools and processes are broken. They don't address the way our brains actually work in a group setting. So we built Ballooner, a platform based on science and research to address how humans actually share information and make decisions.
We've made a lot of progress, so I'm excited to share updates and just share some of the big milestones that we've hit. I randomly went cursive here, which is not how it is, and then this is low and then high. I think there might have been some confusion around our product. So I'm excited to reintroduce and share more. Get pumped and get ready to take off.
Welcome back to Meet the Drapers, Amanda. It's great to have you back. Tell us what kind of progress you've made, and then tell us why you should be the one.
Thank you so much for having me back, and I have a lot of exciting milestones to share. Jason Calacanis joined us as an angel investor. He's also upping his investment in our current round. We released new version of our product, receiving rave reviews. We won first place at Launch Scale, very exciting.
That's the big launch event.
Yes.
You were the first place of the whole show?
Wow.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yeah.
How many? You got first place?
Did, yeah. And that was one of the things that led to Jason investing in
Were
us.
the judges your uncle and your nephew?
Yeah, all family members.
No. She has a good product.
How much money are you raising, and how much have you raised on the crowdfund?
Yeah, so we raised $187K on Republic. Before that, we had raised $865K on notes, safes, etc. from angels, Wavemaker partners.
Wavemaker, I'm an investor.
Yeah.
So I'm already an investor.
Yeah, that's what I wondered if there was a link there.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're
Thanks.
I love big markets. Your mid-market play. Do you see this mid-market or is it just strictly large enterprise?
I think it's both. So we want Ballooner to be the first place where people go when they need ideas, feedback, or information, regardless of that group or team size. But we really see this as the largest untapped opportunity because we're creating this new category.
In our setup here, Ballooner would work very well because Daniel has some really good ideas, but he hasn't said anything to Ballooner.
So, there's a balloon coming out of his head right now, a little dot.
The problem is you will all claim your comment, and then I'll be left out, so she'll know it was me.
She'll know it was you.
So how do you protect
Okay,
Great, thanks for joining us here at Meet the Drapers.
Yeah, great to see you again.
Thank you very
nice
much.
to meet you.
I think it went well. I had a lot to say, and a lot to talk about. It's always hard, right? Like there's so many great companies and, it's about investor company and founder fit. So all those things I think have to kind of fit and be cohesive. So who knows, but excited and a great opportunity.
So what did you all think of Amanda and Ballooner?
I liked her and thought her answers were very good. Yeah, I think this is going to fly.
I was surprised to hear there hadn't been anything like it before.
We backed another company that was very much like this, but it was totally anonymous. And what happens when it's totally anonymous is that it goes down the rabbit hole. It all goes negative. And society shut them down. The schools shut them down.
Wow.
The businesses shut them down because it was too anonymous. This captures that anonymity, but you're in a group of 10, you start recognizing who's putting the negative stuff down. You go, hey, come on, George, we get it.
But I guess that's the part of it that I've never seen before, because the internet is what you're talking about. Someone will say something negative, the other person will love to build on that. This sounds
try putting 3 Californias on Twitter and see what happens to you.
Try being an actor, see what happens.
Right, same deal.
Personally, I love the short-term play on this. I think, every company's going to try it. My question would be, can it sustain the test of time?
Do you think it's mission critical, or do you think it's a nice to have?
Pulling from the collective knowledge of the organization is mission critical. Whether this way is mission critical kind of leaves itself to be seen.
The bigger the company, the more mission critical it becomes. I mean, when you've got a small net group and you've got that relationship,
then you're going to anyway.
You don't need a balloon because you got that rapport with people.
That's a good observation.
I like the fact that there was adoption and there was growth and scaling. But I'm interested to see what the retention is like. Do you do this once a year with your staff, or do you do it every month?
Right.
Terrific. We're going to go on to our next contestant. But before we do, let's see what's going on behind the scenes.
Ooh. I'm Harold Hughes, and I'm the founder and CEO of Bandwagon. Dozens and hundreds of fans were denied at the gate for this year's NBA Finals because their tickets were fake. And so what we've been able to do is harness the power of the blockchain using cryptographic security. We'll randomly find a puppy and we'll just figure out ways to just interject them into our pitch suddenly.
What if we did a group pitch?
Oh yeah, that would work. In preparation for the finale, we really thought about what's the story we want to leave people with. We really wanted to hone in on the narrative of having that fan identity captured. Thank you to all of my investors that helped get us here, all 333 of you. You guys helped get us here, and a win today is a win for all of us. So thank you for jumping on the bandwagon. Let's get it.
So Harold, welcome back to Meet the Drapers.
Glad to be back.
How many people have gotten on the bandwagon in the meantime?
Lots. And one of the things we looked at this is how do we do this beyond just sports? There's a huge marketing opportunity that comes with knowing who's in the venue and the preferences that they have, whether it's Coke versus Pepsi or what type of music they like. So we worked with the Africa Rising International Film Festival in Johannesburg, South Africa, and they needed to know who was going to be attendees. And we worked with their ticketing partner, Howler, to make sure that every single ticket transacted on that platform was actually recorded to the blockchain. And then from there, we captured the fan information, first name, last name, email, all that stuff, and then aggregated it down so that you knew who was in the venue from a preferences, genders, but I didn't say Polly's here and she's sitting here. We masked that information from that event organizer to protect fans' information.
Does it cost them a little more to buy into Bandwagon than to just buy a ticket?
It doesn't. So Bandwagon is behind the scenes. So the fan, you would not know that we're involved. The key to this is working working with the ticket partners as well as the event organizers to help make sure they're securing that information, as well as creating a great demographic pool so they're able to sell the right products, the right services.
We were last time concerned this was not that valuable unless you got those major ticket guys signed up. But it sounds like there are other ticket guys you've been able to sign up.
Well, there are dozens of ticket companies, and so we met with the CIO of a major sports team that said that on the day of the event, they know 4% of the people that are in the venue. Fans buy from ticket market A, B, C, D, all the way down the line. So for us, if we can say, what if we add ticket market B to your data set and you go from 4 to 6? Or we go add ticket market C and you go from 6 to 10? There will be a point when we need to get the ticket masters and StubHubs of the world, but there are lots of other players that add incremental data that makes that sales department much more valuable than it was on day 0 than after they've been.
How much have you raised on the crowdfund?
Yeah, so we raised $147,000 on our crowdfunding.
And what was the valuation?
$10 million cap. We previously have raised over $1.3 million from ventures like Backstage Capital and Capital Factory in Austin, Texas.
Well, Harold,
I appreciate
thanks so
it.
much.
Thank y'all.
To meet the
I appreciate
Drapers.
it. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're part of the finale for a reason. I think Bandwagon's got just as good of a reason to be here as anyone else, and would not be surprised if they invested in us, but definitely excited to just be around these great companies that I'm around right now, and looking forward to seeing who they pick.
You want to get on the bandwagon, or should we jump off the bandwagon?
Anything to do with document fraud and counterfeits, I'm in. There's a lot of data going onto the blockchain. Like it's collecting a lot of information on demographics and that sort of stuff. I don't know if that needs to be on there for a counterfeit solution, but I like the concept.
I agree. If it's strictly a counterfeit solution, blockchain is great, but it's not a counterfeit solution. It's a solution to allow for targeted advertising. Thinking about it from an advertiser provider standpoint is fabulous, and I think it's an acquisition opportunity for somebody to come in long term. The people will need to be provided with some value, otherwise out the door it goes.
It seemed like it wasn't for them anyway. They don't even know that this bandwagon exists. They just know from the people they buy tickets from that it's counterfeit free. The buyer is Ticketmaster, and they're the ones that know the ancillary things they're going to get from it, which is knowing that they like these kind of hot dogs, EO beers. So they'll be the beneficiary, not the person. The people that are going to benefit from them are all the ticket sellers.
That's always a concern for me is, are the entrepreneurs just selling to just a few customers who then sell and get the benefit of all of their customers? Or does the entrepreneur get through those customers into the end user and then they have all those customers? If he's got that, that could end up being quite valuable. And for him, he's a great salesman.
Oh, I think he's fun.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Genius how he kept using my name. I was like,
Polly.
He knows my name. He knows my name.
And he remembers what you said the
And he
last
remembers
time.
what I said,
Let's move on to our next entrepreneur. But before we do, let's see what's going on behind the scenes.
My name is Derek Waleko, and I'm CEO of Upsonder. We're making it extremely easy and simple to be able to book drone services online. We have a true online marketplace where you can go and order your drone pilot on demand. We're also going to be deploying a fleet of autonomous drones to keep pace with the growing demand for drone services worldwide.
I was humbled and grateful for the first time we were here, and now my mind is just blown. We're bringing some new information since last time we were here with new partnerships that we have, and I think I want to really go deeper into Marketplace 2.0 this time around.
So, Derek, great to have you back on Meet the Drapers. Tell us more about Upsonder and what you've done since we last talked.
Since last time we met, we have added about 70 new drone pilots to our network. We've done 6 missions for the oil and gas industry. We also are under NDA with 2 very large Fortune 500 companies for the potential to order drone services with us. Our vision for the future is Marketplace 2.0. It's basically automating. There is such demand growth worldwide for drone services. There aren't enough human drone pilots to satisfy that demand. So we need to automate that process.
Long term, this is going to be the thing. People are going to have drones everywhere, and this will be the platform for it, but right now people have to come up with uses for them.
Actually, the use cases don't need to be made up. The use cases are out there. What the issue right now that we are going to be focusing on in 2019 is education. The majority of our drone missions are from the oil and gas industry. These are multinational, large conglomerates that have massive resources. They're hiring a small startup in Los Angeles, California to be able to do this. That's very telling about the industry and about the problems that exist with companies that need drone services.
Why do they need you?
They need us because we make it simple for them to be able to have access to this drone technology.
Wait a minute.
Here's
these are big companies.
Right.
Got all kinds of.
Right. There's a lot of confusion. It speaks to the point that there's confusion among the elite of the corporations that exist out there. So it's our job to be able to educate the industry that we exist and that Drone Pilot is there for their services.
Well, Derek, thanks so much for coming to meet the Drapers, and all the best to you.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations to Upsonder to being a finalist.
I was hearing everyone saying that there are a lot of tough questions, and there were, but it was actually much less nerve-wracking than I thought. I wanted to go further into the next steps of Marketplace 2.0, and again, just like the first time, I didn't get enough time to talk about it because we were talking about so much other things that were with Marketplace 1.0, but the bread and butter of Upsonder is what we're developing in the very essence of our technology. It's a really big thing that we're working on, and we've got a great team to do it as well.
So what did you all think of Derek and Upsonder?
This is an enormous market potential that is just growing like a weed, I'm sure.
I remember last time, explained all the different things that drones can do. And you guys were refreshing me on all of them. Like the reason the gas companies use them is because they can actually detect, you said, leaks.
That's the biggest application.
That's one of the biggest applications. But what really sells me on it is that it's going to be able to deliver pizzas soon. So that's what I would look forward to and dream of, and it would be worth my investment just for that.
From our company perspective, we're moving into drones. So drones will be part of the devices that we help manage. So I see this as complementary to us, but also a big growth area. I think the big issue is it's going to take some time. I mean, the growth market is going to be slower to get there to create a revenue where we're talking millions and tens of millions of revenue.
But the idea that he said they're a tiny little company and they've already gotten such interest from although companies, it shows that there is no one else out there.
He's creating the demand, so he's going one step further, and on behalf of those pilots, he's going out there and talking to the oil and gas companies and actually helping to create adoption in this industry. So I think that's pretty cool.
I'm a little torn because I think that, yes, we're all going to be using them, but does a marketplace for drones pick up fast enough for him to survive long enough so that this actually does become the marketplace for all drones? Okay, let's bring on the next entrepreneur, but before we do,
pizza.
Good idea. And let's check to see what's going on behind the scenes.
Hi, I'm Sona, and I'm CEO of Neopenda. We've developed a patent-pending wearable vital signs monitor that continuously measures 4 crucial vital signs all in this small wearable device.
Well, I also loved reading all the notes for why people invested because it was just so diverse. Initially, I was at the co-working space in Chicago and with my co-founder and got the email that we were invited to the finals, and so honored to be here. I'm really excited to share some updates from the past 6 months. I think that we've grown a lot as a company. We're really excited about the scale and opportunity that we've had, particularly since our last pitch. So excited to share that with the judges.
Sona, welcome back to Meet the Drapers. Congratulations,
Thanks so much.
You're in the finals.
So excited to be here.
Terrific. So tell us what's happened with Neopenda since we've last seen you.
Yeah, so the last 6 months have been really exciting for us. We've partnered with and been recognized by some of the most esteemed organizations in the space. We also raised $300,000 from 700 investors through our Republic campaign, so we're really excited to have a global
Wow,
effort.
good job.
Thank
So
you.
that's all through Meet the Drapers.
It's all through Meet the
And
Drapers.
with Republic helping out. That's terrific. Good for
Absolutely.
you. So how much were you trying to raise?
$1 million.
What are you going to be able to do with that $1 million?
The next year, about 50%, it will be used for product development in the first half of the year. So really focusing on iterating on the product. I'd love to be able to show you kind of where we are today and where we're going. This is our monitor, baby Natasha.
Okay.
So the goal is to have a monitor on every baby
Really,
in the
I'm
hospital
captivated.
ward.
I am going to give her a little diaper change. Go
And
ahead.
here is the dashboard view of what it would look like for multiple patients in the ward.
So it highlights when something's not going right.
Absolutely, and then you can click on each patient.
And what are these 4 things?
There's pulse rate, respiratory rate, blood oxygen saturation, and temperature.
I'm struggling with the form factor, and I'm also struggling with a couple of things. Is there a battery? And does the battery heat up? I hear about the testing and all that.
And are there fashion issues?
Yeah, I mean,
No, clearly not.
Is it low enough power that you're confident that there's not going to be legal issues down the line that could completely take you out?
Our device is low power enough. It uses Bluetooth Low Energy to communicate, so all of the power thresholds are well below what is expected by FCC and every other regulatory body.
Why are you looking to improve the product instead of selling what you've already built?
It requires extensive regulatory training and trials, so it's really ramping up the manufacturing process, getting to initial sales in Q4 of this year, and then focusing entirely on sales in 2020.
As the underdeveloped countries become developed, they won't need this anymore.
Well, that would be the ideal scenario where they don't need our device.
It's not ideal for your business.
Not ideal for the business, except that we are building the infrastructure necessary for additional pipeline products.
So you'll have more products that you're going to just
Absolutely.
keep
More
pounding.
products, more patient populations.
I'm worried about the tremendous cost of marketing in all these developing countries.
We have 3 different customer segments that we're looking at. The first are private facilities. They have higher purchasing power, less bureaucracy. So the marketing efforts are not really that high there, but the customer acquisition cost is a bit higher since we are knocking from door to door.
And you're still happy you're doing it?
I could not imagine myself doing anything else.
Great. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Sana,
you.
for coming
Appreciate
to
your
see
time.
Meet the Drapers once again.
With investors, it's always hard to know exactly what they want to focus on, but I think, we know our company best, so it wasn't very difficult to answer the questions. So it was really fun to actually interact with the product and do a little bit deeper dive into what we're doing. We were chatting earlier about the connections that we've made both inside the room and outside, and I'm just excited to see how things turn out.
So what did everyone think of Neopenda?
I basically think marketing is going to be the big problem.
I don't know. I feel like it would be worth investing in because it's such a fantastic thing to do.
Are we talking about getting our money back? Or are we just happy to give it away?
As we talked before, we're in the device management space, but gosh, I hate devices when it comes to investing in them because there's so many things about them. Like I said, you don't know the battery issues until you're really in scale. I hate to say it, $1 million, as you know, doesn't go far in the hardware space. So.
No way.
Yeah.
So that United Nations have like a tender marketplace, if you want to call it that. And so there's different technology grants for different things like medical products and blockchain projects.
Oh, UNICEF would do this.
Yeah, UNICEF is one of, I think, 52 different...
Yeah, they would help in some way. I agree. That's a good idea for her.
I was a little worried about, hey, then our job is done when the developing world becomes the developed world.
Yeah, well, when
Instead
will
of
that
saying
happen?
we're going to have, she eventually
did.
backed it up with we're going to have other follow-on products.
Which what she said
but her
was,
first thinking
that's the
was,
best case scenario.
I'm done.
That isn't what she meant. What she meant was that would be so hallelujah. Everybody
Right.
would say, oh, that this country is so developed now, they don't need my product. That would be a dream come true for
As
everybody.
I travel around, I realize they are getting more developed so fast. You've
So
got to be
maybe
prepared for that. Okay, so we've heard from 6 of our 7 finalists. But before we hear from our next finalist, let's go see what's happening behind the scenes.
I was frustrated whenever I quit a game because that meant I lost all my coins, hard work, time, and effort. With quarters, you'll be able to use 1 coin in any game on our platform.
This was a 12-year-old that blows us all away.
We brought our team here today to show the Drapers that we actually have a lot of people backing up this idea and working for us. Chris Cross designed Medal of Honor, which is a really big game, and Devo won 3 Grammys. If it's a 12-year-old who's helping it, how is this really going to work? work. This isn't really just a hobby, it's a real thing. We have people working.
Yeah, that's fair.
We are here to make games better for players. Big team.
All right. Bunch of nerds.
All right, so Quarters made the finals. Tell us what you've done since we last saw you and why you should be the winner of Meet the Drapers.
Since we've seen you, we've raised more money. We've acquired a company.
How much have you raised?
We've raised $250,000 more.
Wow!
With 200.
Wow. Was that
On crowdfunding?
through Republic?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then-
Meet the Drapers brought $250,000.
And then,
Fantastic.
And then we've acquired a company.
You acquired a company? Who did you acquire?
So we acquired a company called Rise9, which has 700 million followers. It's an influencer company.
Terrific. So who's doing the programming, you or your dad?
My team.
You guys
very
must
well.
be together all the time now.
A little more than I'd like. No, I'm joking.
Have you been able to convince other game companies to put Quarters in there?
Yeah, we got 40 companies that we're going to republish with Quarters.
How does it benefit them to not use their own cars?
This is an amazing thing that neither of us knew before we started. We're at the end of the life cycle of free to play. So all the developers are asking, how do I get players and how do I get them to pay anything? And Quarters is the answer.
What's the biggest surprise you've run into since you've started this business?
How smooth everything has gone.
Wow.
The fact that we've already had 40 games, we've acquired a company, and we've raised a total of $600,000 is incredible.
Amazing. Wait, when you say you acquired a company, how much did you pay for the company?
About the equivalent of $15,000.
But it was done in Quarters.
Yeah, but Q2's the investment token.
Q2's, I mean.
When you're giving an investment token to a company to bring them in, what's the value of that? Are you going to be trading that on an exchange like a cryptocurrency exchange long term? Is it a utility token?
The utility token is Quarters. It can only be used in games. It can't be sold back for dollars, and the price is stable. It's always 400 Quarters for $1.
Got it.
Then there's Q2s, which are security tokens, and it's revenue based on the sale of Quarters.
Good job. Stay clean there. That's all.
Yep, that was when we started. We said we're going to be clear as driven snow, as my dad says. We don't want to make any mistakes.
And you said 400 Quarters for $1? It's 4 Quarters for $1.
We changed it to 400 because you don't want to be thinking about decimals or fractions when you're playing a game. You want 100, 1,000. That's easier.
Well, great. Well, thank you both for coming back and being finalists on Meet the Drapers. Congratulations. That is really exciting.
Have we agreed winner buys the first round? Unless it's you.
Unless it's you.
I get lemonade.
You get lemonade, exactly.
I feel like it was even better than last time. It was really fluid, how we talked back and forth. And I didn't feel like we were being grilled. I felt like they were just curious and asking questions. I bet you at least one of us is going to be really successful. And you're going to be able to look back on the site and say, oh, I was with them. Like the next person creates the next Amazon or Apple, you say, I know them. I was in the same room as them. I was talking to them.
So, what did you all think of Quarters?
I think it's the best one I've seen.
He's just
What's
so
not to
winning
like?
in every way. Yeah, what's not to love?
It's a great idea. It's not unique. There are plenty of other gaming tokens out there, but the marketplace is big enough for plenty of these projects to exist. And the fact that he's out there and he's got 40 companies already adopting Quarters, I mean, that's pretty cool.
The more games he gets on platform, the more, this is just printing money.
When you brought up the SEC, I thought they're going to be no match for this boy.
Not to mention that they said we want to be pure as the driven snow. We've got,
Like
every
that,
single I dot and T cross.
Absolutely. Good. Okay, now.
Also, I love that family working together thing. That's close to my heart.
Yeah, well, we do a little bit of that.
Yeah, we sure do.
So now, we've seen all 7 finalists. And you, viewers, what do you think? What should we do?
I would pick the last one.
Is that because of a short-term memory thing?
Very good.
What's your choice?
My heart sort of goes out to the baby monitor. Something like this is something the world needs. I love the kid, the gamer kid, but the world isn't going to be saved by gaming.
How about you, Daniel?
I liked a few of them. Ballooner and the Quarters would both be safe ROI type investments. My heart is definitely for the baby monitor because I think it's gonna change lives.
The Ballooner thing, what I like about that is it's engaging into a democratized aspect of decision making that gives people a voice inside corporations. And then Kobe, when she came up, I mean, she blew me away with somebody that you'd want to be in business with, that you would just say, all right, she's going to make it happen.
You know, they were all
really good. They were just really
They were our finalists.
super people.
Yeah, that was a good choice.
Well, now to get a winner, we've got to consult the crystal ball. So, crystal ball, we're counting on you to come through again.
Should we all?
Okay, there. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Okay. So, should we bring him in and announce the winner?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Bring him in. So now we are ready for the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to choose a winner, but before I choose that winner, I think Dad wanted to say something.
I wanted to say that no matter who he chooses to win, I thought you were all so impressive. I'm going to give you each $1,000.
Thank you.
He meant invest $1,000 through the crowdfunding program. But I would like to just congratulate all of you. I made a commitment that I would invest $100,000 into the winner, but we always over-deliver on Meet the Drapers. So we're going to do this. It's going to be $50,000 for third place, $75,000 for second place, and $100,000 for first place. And numbers 1 and 2 will also have an opportunity to meet with me and my team at Draper Associates to see if it ends up being even a bigger commitment. So, so with that, third place goes to, drum roll, Visual. Congratulations. Terrific. Very well done.
Thank you.
Another third place. Goes to Baby Monitor. It was, you got all of our heartstrings there. That, you know, I looked into the eyes of that thing. I had some trouble. Second place, and a meeting with Draper Associates goes to Quarters. Congratulations. This guy is going places.
Great job.
This guy is going places. And his father is too. Yeah, good job. Good job, you two.
Good job.
Fantastic. And first place for $100,000 and a visit with Draper Associates goes to Ballooner. Congratulations. And I just realized it went to the women and children. So there we go. That concludes the final episode of Meet the Drapers. Congratulations, everybody up.
When Satoshi Nakamoto made a token perfecto, no friction cross borders decentralized. The world he did join. He brought us together.
origin block has lost her unclaimed.
It's still unclaimed.
World's right baker shock bureaucrats too. Governments don't know what to do.
Live long in blockchain.